And I believe we're live. Welcome everybody and welcome to After Church Tea Time. We are all here today to discuss the powerful message Steph and Shulia just shared with us, and our wonderful board of directors, gorgeous card reading, our meditation, all a beautiful package to deliver this message. And we're here to kind of expand it and talk about it and unpack it a little bit more. So today's whole entire unionism spiritual discussion is about abundance and money. And so how did it make you guys feel to go a little bit deeper into this, from last week? Some deep stuff. Feel free to unmute yourself at any time if you want to chat.
I really liked that the sermon was a continuation from last week, Sunday service. And yeah, I guess it was needed. And I really am grateful and thankful to Jeff and Shulia because money is like inevitable, but you don't actually learn about money and, about finances when you are young, and you're kind of, well, in my experience, you're kind of dropped into it when you move out of your parents' house or when you are 18 or things like that. So yeah, it was really insightful to and really important to share a message around money,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I agree. What about anybody else? What did you think?
I mean, I grew up in a place where it was wrong to claim your money. You can't claim your money it's some sort of a sin. And yeah. So yeah, this sermon was really important for me to really go deeper into that, and about the giving and receiving too. I always had this belief that I needed to hold myself, and I'm glad that Jeff and Julia talked about the artist style, because this is part of my life purpose, so it kind of resonate a lot. I remember that I was working in this art piece this week, and I just decided to not hold myself anymore, about giving it all of who I am. And I remember that I was working on it, and I started to feel a little bit scared at first, because I don't know, there was this kind of scare feeling. And but when I chose to go deeper, I realized that I was just afraid of my own power, my divinity, you know, my my own purpose as an artist, and I didn't need to be afraid of myself, that this is who I am. I am a abundant being, and you know and my gift is powerful. And yeah, it's really the value of my gift. And this perfectly will mirror will reflect on my finances as well, really going deeper into that. Yeah, to be present and just claim it. And yeah.
I love that. That's really brilliant. Yeah, Charlie, being an artist is so valuable, but I feel like even me, I'm like learning. I'm not much of an artist. That's not really where I give like art. That's not really where I give value, I should say. But something that I've always seen is it's so funny. I've been watching different like Disney movies lately where the main plot is around like the jocks, like the athletes against the art kids, or like the athletes against like the theater club, or like I just watched this one called Lemonade Mouth where it's like the funding is going only to the sports area and not the music and other kind of clubs and things like that. And it's just reflecting what we're valuing, right? It's reflecting what the market is valuing. It's and reflecting what we think about the value of certain things. And art is so valuable because it brings like pleasure. it's like this deep sense of pleasure, even food. In the discussion or in the sermon today, Jason was talking about being a chef. So one reason why some people can spend thousands of dollars on food, because it brings us pleasure. It brings us comfort. That's what wealth is just love in a different place in our life, not just in a relationship, but through our food, right? Or through art or through our money. And we can have God in all of those places. We can feel fulfilled and given to and juicy in those places too. And yeah, I think for me, one of those places that I haven't been receiving much love and God, and I haven't been choosing, is definitely in art, in beauty around me. And I definitely want to receive more. So please, I would love to see more of your art and for you to really give more value there. It'd be really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, actually I'm having a lot of ideas lately. But yeah, I was realizing this even yesterday. I realized that there was this belief in me, like I did, I, I couldn't give my love back to God, like this. I receive all this good, but there was like this belief that I needed to hold my love, or like I couldn't give my love back, and so that's why there's still some lack of, the giving, receiving all this abundance. And yes, I realized, I can do both. I can receive all this good and I can love God too. I don't need to hold myself. That's why I actually claimed to be here today as well. I can love God, whatever I feel called to, and it's safe to be seen and all of that. Yeah, it's really just about that, to love God.
That's so sweet. That really gives to me the joy that you share right now is already giving to me through a feeling. And I really appreciate that. So thank you for bringing your presence here today. Kieran, what about you? What did you get from today's sermon?
Something that's related was about Chrissy just comment that, at school we never learn how to take care of money and stuff like that, but it's kind of what we should have, That's weird that we don't learn that, as it's really important. We learn stuff that we will not use, but for how to live in society, to use a tool of society, we don't learn that. It's like, the society don't want that we're ready to take our wealth. It's like the poverty consciousness that we even like restrict, struggle ourselves to claim our good, claim our abundance, claim our money, is that we even don't know how to use the tools that manage the money. So it's really interesting. I really like that. Also, yeah, it's really powerful for me because I'm really healing that this last time about money, about claiming abundance, about giving also, and receiving. Because yes, it was really powerful that yes, when Shelley talked about the vow of poverty, it was really powerful because it's like, yeah, they say that, yeah, you just can change this vow and make another choice. It's just easy. You don't need to be stuck. This was really powerful because I felt that I was struggling and stuck in that. But when I mean, our choices are really powerful, and we can just, yeah, make another choice and it's end this poverty. It's really so easy. So it's really, yes, that's really powerful. And also the fact that Jeff said that when you give something that is really when you put a lot of love that is really precious, you got something that is precious. That's exactly that. And though I really understand more that why I still can't have so much money coming back, because I restrain myself to give something really valuable, something really from the deep part of myself, from God. I really restrain that, so I can't receive something really like precious and amazing because I don't give that. So I really, yes, it's something I really need to process because it's really amazing to understand that. And the only thing we need to do in order to have support with money and stuff like that is just giving the same thing, the same value, just about that.
You just made me think about, our harmonious union and how much I gave, how much I invested into that. My money, my time, my love, my attention. and every moment was worth it because I get to receive something so valuable and wonderful and such high value. And that's just the perfect representation of what wealth is. Like, my harmonious twin flame union is spiritual wealth. It's a representation of that. I mean, it is that, right? Yeah, you just made me go deeper into that. Thank you.
Jeff is asking us where we are willing to make a new choice. That's true. It's really about this sermon is really about making a new choice to have or financial, to have a healthy relationship with our finance, with to bring peace here. And it's really important because if we don't have peace here, it's like our support, you know, it's one of our support. If we don't have peace here, it's just like we remove a lot of our support. We just trash away because we don't want to focus on that. We don't want to check here what's happened because we are afraid that there is nothing, that we have no money and stuff like that. I was a lot of time afraid about that. But yeah, for me, I really make the choice to give more, something valuable, something really from myself, from peace, from a place of peace, and not from a place of struggle or stuff like that, but really from a place of peace and without being afraid to be judged or you know, that it will be received in a not nice manner. Because it's really about that. You give yourself freely. I really want to commit to that, to give myself freely and receive freely, to really have this flow coming back in peace and harmony.
I really like that. I think it goes back to the point of value that was made in the sermon. And I think that if you don't see the value in what you give, it's not gonna come back to you. You know, you have to value yourself in what you give. And yeah, it also really speaks to me because I do art, and I used to do art and give it kind of for free, you know, like do logos and illustration and videos and everything. And I was like, oh, I'm still a student, you know, it's for training, and you know, I will earn money later. And I realized a few days ago that actually I was not valuing my gifts. And so, yeah, it was taken from me because I was not valuing what I was giving to others. And value is in what you give, and it's in everything. And I really love that the sermon talked about value because it's a huge component of the laws of the universe, I guess, like giving and receiving. Like I don't know what you guys think about that, but yeah, but it really struck me in the sermon.
There is Lizzie that asks you, Lauren, what is your life purpose guiding you to give?
Well, at the moment, it's guiding me to paint, I guess, draw, and give digital illustrations because people have been asking me for more illustrations and logos for my business, and I'm realizing that I'm kind of a divine channel of, you know, in art. So yeah, I can really see. I love like giving beauty to people through art, through visuals, through everything. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, are there any other questions or anything on the Facebook group? Want to check in?
Yeah, I don't see all of them. Now I see just the last one.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how we do that.
No worries. I have a few notes here from the sermon today, and I'd just like to touch upon a few of the points, things that really touched me. You know, value addition, adding value is actually a life skill. when I was a Peace Corps volunteer in East Africa, that's actually something we taught as an agriculture and like business skill. I was a health volunteer primarily, but the health education and agriculture business kind of bled into each other. And so like I had a women's group where we, I would help them to come up with what could they give. They were HIV positive women and they didn't really have they didn't feel like a purpose. So we talked about we got them all together. It's like a really great psychosocial support for them to come together in a community, which is what we do here. It's very abundant here. And came up with what could you give and how could we add value to it? And so we took something that they already had, which was beehives, and because they made honey, local honey, and they usually threw away the wax, but everybody uses candles because power isn't always on in that country, in the country of Uganda. And so people were always using candles anyways. And so it didn't make sense to just be throwing away wealth like that, right? The market was asking for and demanding the candles. It really valued candles. And here was all this beeswax that was being thrown away. So we made value from what we already had. And that's the beautiful thing. And that's what Jeff and Shalia teach in Life Purpose class is you already have everything you need to make value and to create wealth. Always. And that's actually something that, I'm an ascension coach, and that's something that we do. Part of our ascension coaching is help our clients to create wealth in their life. Where are we throwing away the value where we could be making something, we could be changing someone's life? And beeswax is actually very medicinal as well. When you burn it, it's really great for your lungs instead of the petroleum-based candles that everyone else was usually using, which is not so good for your health. See how many how much wealth was here the whole time? They're not poor. They're so wealthy. It's just they didn't really know how to, haven't learned how to add more value to their craft yet. And that's a direct quote from Jeff. They're not better or worse. They just they didn't learn those skills on how to add more value to what they had. And so that's something that we would come in and help to do, is to teach skills, life skills. And we created, a beautiful business called Twikembe, and we came together and made these beautiful beeswax candles. And it was actually really great creating value in this way. And so once we made the candle, that's just one kind of economy version of it, right? Like Shalia said, you have the really nice artisan version or the economy version. Well, we started at the economy version. That's enough. That's okay. Once we grounded that, once we mastered that, and it got easier and easier to get the ingredients and to get the organic cotton from the wicks from the cotton producers up north, to get the beeswax from our providers. Also, please excuse me, I'm in the middle of New York City, so the subways come through sometimes a little bit loud. But once we started to make the candles and sell them for a small profit, eventually not only did our reach expand, people were actually starting to hear our name and we were beginning to network, but we also had more time and effort to add more value. So we actually had the women start to do weaving and creating beautiful tags. We got some stamps with our logo on it, beautiful tags that we could make to now package them and customize the size of the packages. So we're always adding more and more value each step of the way, and we're able to add, we're able to receive more money back as we do that. But we had to start somewhere. We started with the idea. We started with, what do I have? Looked at the market. What do they want? What do people need? And what do I like to do? And these women loved to be out in the fields, loved to be with the plants and to be creating things with their hands. This very large sense of pride. And it was really wonderful to watch and witness that. And then, guiding that energy into creating something real. And I think that's literally I taught that as a Peace Corps volunteer, as a life skill, but it's not something I was really ever taught, as a youth or as a young adult. I was actually trained to do that in order to give that as a gift later to them. So I love how Jeff and Shalia teach this as part of their curriculum in Life Purpose class. They teach it as a core teaching in unionism and in Twin Flame Ascension School. And you, with that core teaching, you experience wealth everywhere. And so Kieran and I are twin flames living in harmonious union. We reached harmonious union March 11th, 2020, a couple months ago. And this is the process we did. We just kept working and loving and investing and expanding the love. And we continue to do that together now in our union as well. We can give more because we gave more to ourselves. So that's what I really got, that quote about no craft is ever inferior or superior per se. It's just, or no people, I should say, are inferior or superior. It's just if they've made the choice, right? Or if they've actually moved forward and learned how to add more value to what they have. And we all have that ability. It's just, are we choosing it? And I wanted to say something about what Jeff said is, are you willing to make a new choice here? Yes, Jeff, I'm definitely willing to make a new core choice here. I choose to expand my value and my reach. I choose to love unconditionally and give, just show up and give everything that I am and have a really beautiful, fulfilling relationship with my finances. Yeah. So what did you guys, I also wrote down like this artistic versus economy idea, the same thing. Yureen, you talked about your art in the very beginning where maybe even up to this point where you were just kind of giving it away for free. How does each piece feel for you when you start assigning a value to it and you start selling it for money? What changes within you?
Well, I actually think I receive from God, like directly, when I value what I do. It's so weird because I feel like high when I do art, but like not on drugs, but it's so enjoyable and it's so easy as well. Like I don't have to worry about finding an idea and finding something original. God guides me like every steps of the way, and it's truly humbling and beautiful, and it feels easy, and it's a gift that keeps on giving because like after I give it to people, I receive so much like feedback and love, and it's not only about the money, and it's about what feels good, and it's teaching me that art is important and that it's something that is refined and that it's of God like directly, and it's important. Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to know what Charlie thinks about it.
Yeah, you're right about it. It's something about valuing that I'm learning a lot about valuing my art is recognizing my gift, the way that I was created to share and give with my art, and yeah, actually this week was really about that, recognizing that the beauty of my work and claiming my power there, that I don't need to be afraid, I don't need to hold myself, and it really is safe to show myself through it, and allow myself to be loved back as well. And actually, I had a dream last night about this, uh, I really just keep moving forward and expanding, and like there's no need to protect myself from things outside or the things that happen, and changes. It's really natural to just keep following, moving with the flow, and just keep loving it, and you just it's like a setting yourself free in a way, and you just and you claim that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just amazing when you choose to recognize your your gift. It's really amazing because you realize how unique it is, even though uh there's a lot of artists in the planet, everyone expresses in a unique way, and something that I'm learning to fully see that with my art is valuing how much I desire to create things, like to be really alive in the art. I love to feel that, like to bring life to to my art to my art, and to make people feel that way, like alive. And yeah, it's just amazing. Yeah.
I think about art is really kind of stuff about it's the value of what society give to art is like nothing. When you are at school and stuff like that, a lot of time when you say, oh, I want to be to make paint and sell it all my life, I want to be a musician, a lot of people was like, oh, but just do regular education to have money. That's, you can do that at the side, don't do that as the work. Like, there is this old this thing in society, or what we learn, that it's remove the value of what we can offer. Because
Mm.
money has no value. Money is just a support, or it's just an exchange of something, but there is no really value there. The value that we give. But the point is, what is valuable is what we really can offer from ourselves, from the channeling of God, because it's something so, like, something that each of us, we are so unique. So, for example, my gift I can offer is totally different than yours or the other one, because it's really specific. I was created by God to give that in this way, and removing the value of that is somewhere, insane, because it's like you're removing the value of God somewhere. I start to really understand that as you was talking also, and in the sermon and all the work I did, is that art is really powerful. I really like making art and stuff like that, but yeah, it's really so powerful.
Yeah, it's true. We kind of grew up with this belief that art is not valuable. Um, and this is definitely something that I'm working a lot to really value my work, my the way that I desire to share the love. And yeah, it's really powerful and it's amazing, actually. Um, yeah.
I just really wanted to say that I very much value how I feel. And so, I mean, all of us do. We're all spiritual students. We are very vigilant in finding all the places where we feel bad and loving ourselves there, right? That's the core of unionism as well. And so we all very much care about how we feel. And that's the purpose of art, is to make you feel good, make you feel something. And so it's very valuable. You were just barking up the wrong trees, but you're in the right place. You're in the right market now. And that's really amazing.
Yeah, it reminds me of something that was said in the sermon. That could explain like why people don't devalue, art or any kind of job that is not usual. Maybe it goes back to history, like and a mentality of lack, um, of limits, and yeah, and also what Jeff said about like in the past, like what was valued was that you were a farmer or something like that, and today, like it's so easy. You only have to be your unique self and give from that place, and yeah, it will sustain you, and it will give back to you. And so I think what we are doing here is really like coming out of this mentality of a society that we are limited in the jobs that we could do. We are limited in the value that we could give. We are limited in the possibilities, and it really is that art is one of the simplest example of that, because like a lot of people think that you are limited as an artist, and you're not when you give from love, from yourself. And yeah.
It's really also because how it was, I mean, our society, it's based on our parents and grandparents and, before, and it was about survival. For example, in my region in Europe, it was a lot of war and that. So of course it was about survival, but now we are learning to express ourselves and to value our feelings. It's something that, for example, my parents, my grandparents, they didn't value that because they didn't have the support to reach this step that they can start to feel their feelings, I think there is a lot about that. That's why it's really, it's really important to just value our feelings because it's everything, really. It's really amazing gift that we have, and we should share that. And we will receive support for that because it's just about share freely ourselves. I'm learning that, and I really like the feeling that I make more YouTube video now. It's really more easy, and I really feel more free and more empowered, and yeah, I know I will receive something because I'm giving, but just energetically I feel that because I don't really care about now. I don't really have expectation anymore of what I will receive because I was really struggled because I was putting a lot of expectation. Oh, I want clients because I want money, but now it's not work like that. I mean, I can't be struggle with that anymore. So yeah, I really make another choice that just give freely without any expectation because it's the only manner that we can be with God, really, with freely. And that's funny because it just came in my mind that we have to think about coronavirus and stuff like that. When people know they have more time to think about art, to think about what they like to do without work, because I know a lot of people that was like at the beginning of the quarantine, they were like, oh, I'm boring now, I don't know what to do, and then I say, oh, it's new time to start new things, and a lot of people start new things. And that's funny also because Church of Union was created before coronavirus, a little bit before, so it's really all the timing here of it's really divine. It's really amazing. I really like it. You really feel that it's a big change, man, now. I really like it.
Amen. So I wanted to kind of bring up when Jeff asked in the sermon to feel into the consciousness, the vibration of your finances. I wanted to ask you guys like how that felt for you, and maybe share also like new choices that we might make moving forward. How did that feel for you guys? Did you do that exercise? Yeah. How did it feel? I'm shy. That's okay.
I think it feels bad for every people. That's why no one wants to share. See, I'm sure. Of course. I mean, I think that we will all struggle because something that all the community are healing. So of course it feels bad. Even me, I was healing a lot. No, I can check my bank account every time without feeling scared. But yeah, when I was thinking about that, I was still like somewhere nervous. But it's just about keeping making choice. I don't know. I just want to have peace and God in my bank account, in my financial situation, because I want peace. I'm really tired now to every time that I have no money or that I check my bank account because I need to pay something, I'm really tired to be afraid, to have fear, to have this anxiety and nervosity. I don't want to live with that anymore. So I'm done with that. I stop it.
Amen. Same thing with me. I realized when I was feeling into that vibration, I realized how I had actually never been present there with myself. And so literally just me being present in that vibration with my finances, I could feel my heart upheaving something really heavy. I could just feel like a lot of upheaval happening almost like immediately. And it wasn't so much sadness, or it wasn't it didn't really feel bad per se. It just felt like absent. I was so absent in my finances. And I really resonated with what Jeff and Shlia talked about like living the monastic life and marrying the church. And I feel like that's really what I'm healing right now, is that consciousness, because I felt so absent from it, like it would be handled by someone else almost. And that's kind of like my current like living situation and everything too, is very much around service too, and having like housing handled and food handled. And I work my ass off, but it's like literally exactly what Jeff and Shalia were talking about living and living like a life of a nun. And it's so funny because when I was younger, I would always say, even as a young adult, I'd always say, I would rather live and be like a celibate nun for the rest of my life than be with the wrong person and be like stuck in a place where I didn't, feel appreciated or loved, or stuck in a relationship where I didn't feel appreciated and loved. And it's funny how I was all like, God was always hinting at this, exactly what I'm healing right now for years through different things that I was thinking and felt. God's always been talking and trying to show this to me. But I make a new choice now. Like I choose to live. I choose to claim my financial vibration. I choose to have a relationship with it, a committed, loving, joyful relationship with my finances. Yeah, and that feels really good. It doesn't feel disempowering or scary anymore. I feel like a sense of purpose and joy now moving forward. I don't feel lost like I did before. So this sermon was literally at the perfect time. Perfect message, perfect time, every time. God is good. Thank you, Jeff and Shalia. What about you
Yeah, I
guys?
had this issue in the a few weeks ago about my financial situation, but when I chose to face it, the situation, and a miracle happened, and I could ground more, and still passing through it, but it's really about you not avoiding, the things around you, your life around you, and it's safe to face it, everything, and because it's safe to bring yourself there, because how can you build something, you know if you're not there? How can you be present there? How can expand the life around you if you're not present in every little corner of your life? And this is something that I'm learning a lot, to really face it. How can I overcome a fear if I don't face it? you know it's really about doing that. I'm just gonna face. How can I learn a new skill, a new thing, if I don't face it? I need to face it anyway. I need to find a way uh to face it and to overcome that. That's okay. You don't need to of course judge yourself for passing through this transition of new lives and new perspectives, and new learnings. Is You can be gentle, but you it's safe to just face it. Safe to just do it. Yeah, just pass through it. Yeah.
Yeah, I for most of my life, I definitely remember being scared of looking at my bank account or being numbed out to my finances. And I guess it comes from my family and from childhood, and also I can see as well how that draw of poverty was always around me, because I come from a very Catholic family, uh, which I thought taught me a lot about spirituality, but there was always this poverty consciousness around, or at least a kind of a numbing to the finances. And yeah, with life purpose class and also with that sermon, I realized that not only I was like disrespecting my finances by not honoring them, but also that I was not putting God there. And I was like, yeah, I was really like separating like finances and spirituality, and life and spirituality. And I was like, what am I doing? Like God is in everything. I don't need um to leave God out of my finances. And the best thing is that he can help me with my finances when he's there, you know. So I definitely see how my finances were unhealthy, and I am making a new choice. I choose to put God there.
That feels really good. Yeah. Well, if we don't have, if anyone would like to share anything else before we go, or anything that really stood out to them about today's sermon, around the card reading, around the message from our board of directors today from Jason and Chrissy, feel free, and then we'll say goodbye.
I want to share something about the card reading that I resonate, that I'm learning about work, and it's really releasing that miserable life. Like, you need to be like sad to do things. You don't need to. You can be happy all the time. You can feel good all the time. And yeah, the card reading was really nice about the joy and stability. You can really have it all. You don't need to separate the joy, the happiness with work, with I don't know, with this or that, or you just, you can feel good all the time. You can feel happy all the time. You can. It's really yeah, this is something that I resonate a lot, that I'm learning a lot, because yeah, it's not worth it to put yourself in that situation. It's not loving with yourself. Yeah.
Amen. I choose to be happy all the time. All right, anything else before we go?
I want to say I really liked Jason and Chrissy's intervention. And yeah, they are really inspiring. They are an inspiration, and they are the embodiment of this work, I guess. And they really show that when you embody the work and when you share from a place of love, you awaken people, you inspire people. And yeah, I want to say thank you as well to Jason and Chrissy.
Amen. And with that, we'll all say goodbye. I realize we didn't say our. I don't know if it actually says our names on the live video, but because this is our first time, would everyone like to just say their names, introduce themselves, and before we go? My name is Stephanie. Hi.
Hi, I'm Yorin.
So I'm Charlie. Oh.
I'm
Well,
gonna
hi.
say, hi, I'm Kiran, but it's up here on the Facebook name. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you, everybody. And thank you for joining us for after service tea time, after church tea time. This is really juicy service, as it always is. And everyone is more delicious than the last, because everyone, it gets better and better. And so we'll see you next week. Bye. Thank you, guys.